Welcome to Vegan Ultra Annual Blood Test Edition. So, I just had my annual physical. The labs are in, so let's go ahead and share them here. Starting with my blood cell count. So, slightly low on hematocrit, but just barely. Hemoglobin also coming in just 0.1 grams under. So, doctor not worried about this. Platelets, my ability to clot, perfectly normal towards the lower end. White blood cells at 5.25 is perfectly normal. And if you're not sick, you want this number to be low. So the blood glucose at 53, this was of course a bit alarming, and this is why we had a blood stick that we took at the end of the appointment. Came in at 92 even after eating 100 grams of sugar an hour previous. Again, blood sugar control of an Olympian. So the cholesterol, this is what I was most proud of after being several months on zero medications, including statins, a whole food, blue zone vegan diet. HDL cholesterol, ideally, this is the good cholesterol that cleans out your blood vessels. You want this above 60, though above 40 is considered normal. But LDL, the bad cholesterol, this is directly linked to heart disease and mortality. Now, under 100 is considered normal, but then again, so is dying of a heart attack. Under 70 is considered optimal because there's only been one case of someone having a heart attack, and it was so mild they didn't notice it. They only discovered it on autopsy years later with some scar tissue. In other words, if you have LDL under 70 and the average for vegans is 69, you're golden when it comes to heart disease risk. Cholesterol, under 200 is considered normal. But again, normal Americans die of heart disease. Under 150, never a recorded case, according to the Framingham Heart Study. And triglycerides, under 150 is normal, and under 100 is optimal, meaning under 100, you don't have heart attacks. 29, my doctor told me she didn't even know numbers that low were possible. Diabetes, hemoglobin A1C. Remember, this measures what percentage of blood cells have sugar sticking to them, so-called glycosylation. Blood cells take 3 months to roll over and be recycled. So this is a 3-month rolling average of your blood sugar. Between 4% and 5.4% is completely normal. 5.5 to 6% is pre-diabetic. Above 6% is diabetic. And once you are diabetic, at that point, the doctor wants you to be controlled, meaning 8% or less. 4.7%. I've completely reversed my diabetes. My doctor says this is something extremely rare, and the fact that I keep it up is quite impressive. All right, so what about some of these other studies? Well, magnesium is coming in perfectly normal. Sodium coming in also normal. Actually, because of all my exercise, some of my family's worried. Are you eating enough salt? Yes, I am. Notice though, potassium, this is interesting. Now remember, I am consuming around 15,000 milligrams per day of potassium. Government recommends around 4,700. So about 3 times the recommended amount, and yet perfectly normal. Healthy kidneys maintain good balance of electrolytes. So iron, now this is something that I actually asked my doctor in a follow-up note. I will report back what she says. So the ferritin level and iron saturation, very high. Now this is not necessarily surprising, given that I am eating all these vegetables and greens, 42 milligrams per day on average of iron, which is high for even a pregnant woman. Men, it's recommended 8 milligrams per day. However, my actual iron levels are normal, as is my TIBC. This is another iron level, and transferrin levels also normal. So I'm checking just to make sure that we are just monitoring this, but overall, if we look at liver function, this is where you'll start to see iron overload. Now, my doctor says this slightly elevated AST level, this is above a normal level of about 35. This is likely due to my weight training. So otherwise, my liver function tests are coming in completely normal, thus indicating not a reason for concern. Now, this is, of course, as expected, because remember, there's two kinds of iron. There's heme iron, what you find in meat. This, your body has no control over. You absorb all of it. So when people say, oh, you make sure to eat that red meat, you need that iron. Oh, no, no, no. That is how you get iron overload. Plants, your body naturally, once you have enough, down-regulates the receptors to absorb more. Plus, you can excrete that kind. So that is why I am not worried. I'm just confirming with my doctor to make sure not to be concerned. And albumin, this is an important form of protein. Remember, oh my goodness, vegans, where do you get your protein? From greens and beans, as nature intended. Albumin, completely normal. B12, upper range of normal. Calcium, also normal, despite the fact that I'm getting around 3 to 4 times the daily recommended amount of calcium. Creatine, glomerular filtration rate. This is an important measure of kidney function. And remember, that's very important for diabetics, because diabetics, all that sugar in the blood will gunk up and help to promote atherosclerosis, basically plaque formation in not just your heart vessels, all blood vessels. The average human has 60,000 miles of blood vessels, including very tiny ones in your kidneys. Remember how your kidneys work. They are very fine filters with thousands of miles of vasculature. So this is why for diabetics, it is very, very important to have a good GFR. And as you can see, over 90. Basically, you want this as high as possible. Over 60 is considered normal, and this is off the scale for this lab. Folate coming in perfectly fine, very high, because of course, folate, vegetables and plants packed with the stuff. Protein overall coming in smack dab in normal, because I'm eating about 150 grams per day. Interestingly enough, animal meat is rich in 2 amino acids, leucine, which too much leucine increases IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, which has been shown to trigger increases in all 4 stages of cancer formation. And methionine, as Dr. Greger explains it, How Not to Age, is the critical amino acid in the mTOR aging pathway, the key human aging pathway. So too much methionine, you age faster. That's why generally in these low-calorie studies, they find that people will live longer if they don't eat that much. Actually, it's not. It's they eat less animal protein, thus less methionine. Well, guess what? Animal protein has far less. Beans, for example, have about 4 times less methionine per gram than chicken. Chicken has much less than beef, and vegetables have about 4 to 5 times less than beans. So as Dr. Greger says, if you want to live longer, you can either cut down on the red meat, or you can just switch to animal or plant protein like your greens and beans. Albumin, this is another important one in urinalysis, because of course any diabetic, always they're checking the blood or the urine studies, and creatine very, very low. So basically these lab tests confirming I am now the healthiest I have ever been, not just as an adult, but even as a child. And in fact, as Cornell teaches in their excellent course on plant-based nutrition, at this point, even by the age of 10, roughly 50% by the age of 10, 100% of children studied have been found with fatty streaks, the beginning of heart disease. In fact, we've even seen on some ultrasounds the beginning of fatty streaks in the uterus. So that is what the standard American diet does to you. But as you just saw, the science-based nutrition and science-based magic and nutrition-fueled sorcery of a whole food vegan diet can truly work miracles, including a complete reversal of my diabetes. Remember, my blood pressure is now coming in at 75 points below normal. My pulse rate, my blood sugar, my cholesterol was over 300 and it's down to 125. I mean, this is truly exceptional. So, feel fantastic, full of energy, and my goodness, I'm aging backwards. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, like this video to help other people find it on YouTube, and consider trying a Blue Zone vegan lifestyle. It's helped me to do so much more than just lose 110 pounds in 8 months. It's helped me to become the healthiest, happiest version of myself on my way to becoming Captain America over 2 years as you watch the transformation, and it can help you become the ultra version of yourself if you just give it a chance and are powered by plants.